Well, hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Legacy Farmer, the podcast. This is your host, Jace D. Young, and today's topic of discussion is this: lowering your interest rates. So one of the biggest things that we do for our members when they first come into Legacy Farmer is we're really helping them get clear on the numbers and just get everything organized. Guys, it just blows my mind once again at how many people have no idea where they're at financially. And on the application that we have members fill out before they even come into Legacy Farmer, they're applying to get on a call with our team. And within that application, we have a question about the numbers. And the amount of people that say they have zero idea where they're at financially, and these are also people that run an operation that produces anywhere from $1 million to $5 million a year in revenue. The amount of people that say they have no idea where they're at financially, it's mind-blowing to me. And it's not really necessarily the people's fault. It's just like when I look at their surroundings, it's like, one, okay, did the education system fail us? And then two, why aren't the banks educating any of the farmers or ranchers on this stuff? Like, what are the banks doing? And that's just a whole nother topic, and then I'll get triggered by it. So we won't go into that. But back to the point of the podcast, the main thing and the primary thing that we're doing when new members come into Legacy Farmers, we are helping them organize their entire business. And that starts with the numbers. It starts with the numbers, then we go into entity structure and estate planning, then we go into overall legacy planning and just everything around that topic. But again, the biggest one is organizing the numbers and actually getting clear on what the numbers are telling us and really putting them into a position to where we can actually take back control and power over the bank. Now, what do I mean by that? Inside of Legacy Farmer, we have a program called Farmer Metrics. And Farmer Metrics is built off of things that I learned while I was inside of the banking industry. And what Farmer Metrics exposes for us is exactly what the bank is looking at when it comes to an individual's operation and one of our members' operation. And it tells us exactly what the bank is looking for, where the strong points are, where the weak points are, and everything around the board. Now, this information is not out in the open market. A majority of people, when they're coming in here, they've never seen any of this type of stuff before when we're looking at certain spreadsheets and certain numbers and things that actually drive the decisions that the bank is making about your operation. And here is what's so awesome about Farmer Metrics is it actually organizes things and it gets them into a simplified setup to where you can actually look at your numbers on a daily basis if you wanted to use those to make logical decisions. Now, the other thing that it's going to expose is where you are getting kind of screwed over with the bank. Okay, where the bank may not have loans structured correctly to where it fits into your cash flow and the biggest one is where the bank is actually charging you more on interest rates. Now, this is one of the key things that I want to hit home with you. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because it's coming up with a lot of our members. When the members come in and we start getting their numbers organized, a majority of our members are paying 1% to 2% higher on all of their loans based on their overall collateral position with the bank, how strong of a credit they are, how organized their numbers are, and everything like that. A majority of our members are paying 1% to 2% more in interest. Now, again, some of them come in and it's been a complete shit show for them up to this point. They've never been able to give the bank clean numbers. They hate talking to their bank or they hate looking at the numbers, and they've never been organized at all. Well, when you're structured that way, my friend, the bank is going to charge you more interest because you are a bigger risk for them. You are a bigger risk for them. Think about if you were in the position you're loaning money to your uncle who is also a farmer next to you, and he asked for a $100,000 loan, and you are looking at this as a business owner and as an investor, you're going to want clean books from your uncle. Otherwise, if he can't give you clean books, what are you going to do with that money? One, you're either not going to loan it to him, or two, if you do loan it, it's a higher risk because he doesn't have clear numbers for you to actually judge his operation off of. And so now he's going to charge you a higher interest rate. This is the way the business world works. And majority of our members, they're coming in and they're that uncle that doesn't have anything organized or anything structured, and they've never been taught or trained how to do these things. And this is a massive, massive issue. And that's what I'm saying is the majority of our members, once we get them in the door, and we start getting everything structured and everything organized, and we start presenting this information to the bank, all of our members, I make them update their numbers with the bank on a monthly basis. I don't make them do it. I am strongly encouraging them to do it because, again, it's just more things that we're taking back from the bank. And by more things, I mean more power, because I am getting our members in a position where they are, one, they have a great relationship with their bank, and two, they are a grade A credit for the bank. The bank never has to worry about them. They're constantly updating the bank instead of doing this once a year type of deal, which is a majority of what farmers and ranchers do is they update their numbers once a year, and that's the only time they ever talk to the bank. I'm pushing our members to do this on a monthly basis because we're building a really strong relationship with the bank, and we're positioning ourselves to where the bank never has to worry about us. And guess what? When you're a grade A credit with the bank, guess what type of rates you get? Well, you get far better rates than anybody else inside of their clientele inside of the bank. And so the thing is, though, is that once we get the numbers organized, what we're finding again is that a majority of our members are paying 1% to 2% higher on their loans. And I'm not talking just small loans, guys. I'm talking like $1 million to $5 million loans that they're paying 1% or 2% more than what they should be. And then we're looking at the terms of some of the loans, and some of the terms don't even make sense compared to what's out in the market today. And I look at, it's just kind of funny because when I go through and I do this stuff, I'm like the outlaw banker. I am exposing everything about the bank and all the I'm just putting the leverage back into the hands of the farmer and rancher. If any of you guys have ever seen the movie 8 Mile, okay, and some of you younger people will understand what I'm talking about, but it's a movie about this rapper called Eminem, and a lot of you guys probably know who that is. And anyways, at the end of the movie, the movie is all about the rise up of him and becoming a rapper, and he goes to these rap battles and stuff like this. But at the end of the movie, he's getting ready to go up against a really, really popular guy in his community that he's going to do this rap battle against. And the thing is when you're rapping, all you're doing is talking trash on the other person, right? You're exposing all their faults, all their weaknesses, all the bad things that have happened in their life. And so Eminem, before he stepped into that last rap battle, is what I'll call it, all he rapped about was all of the terrible things in his life. Like he literally took every little bit of ammunition his competition would have on him, and he exposed it. Like he just openly exposed himself, and he completely took away the power from the other individual. So the guy lost the rap battle because when Eminem was finished, he literally had nothing to say because Eminem already exposed all of his faults and all of his weaknesses and everything. And so this is, I use that as an example because, guys, this is exactly what we're doing with our members in the bank. Like we are literally like giving the bank every ounce of information it could ever need to make the best decisions for our operations. We are taking away all the power and all the leverage from the bank because I'm training our members exactly what the bank is looking at. I'm training them how to talk like the bankers. I'm training them how to step into that office and run those conversations. And when we have that type of power and control, that is when we can actually step in and argue for better interest rates. And here is what we are finding is a majority of our members, when they step in and they get all their numbers organized, the bank has no problem lowering their interest rates. The bank has no problem. But what I want to tell you, my friend, is that your banker is not willingly going to just look at your loans and say, yeah, let's do that. The bank they're a for-profit organization. They are wanting to make an investment return on the money they are loaning out. They are not willingly going to look at your loans and say, well, on your operating line, you're currently at 6%, and the reality is we have a bunch of people at 4% right now. We should probably drop you down. They're not going to do that. Why would they give up 2% margin right there? That they're not going to do that. And it's up to you, my friend, to be keeping track of your numbers and to be finding out all of the different ways that you can take back power and leverage from the bank so you can step in there and get the better rates. Guys, this amounts to millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in interest that is paid out on an annual basis to these banks that's not actually competitive. The rates should be better. And I know that they're better. And that's what's crazy to me too, is seeing the difference in rates from all of our members. We have members at 3%. We have members that are getting 6.5%. Okay. And so these banks, you need to understand is that once you take back this leverage and control, you have the power to demand certain rates from the bank. And the thing is that if they don't give you the rates that you want, okay, great. We can easily share your farmer metrics with all the banks in the surrounding cities or surrounding towns or different banks within your town and get you a better rate. That's not the issue. Okay, the issue is stepping in and understanding where you're at with your numbers, getting stuff organized, learning these things, and going through these conversations with myself and my team and on our community boardroom calls and talking about how the bank is making decisions so that you can understand how that game is played. It's all about understanding the game, guys. And with our members, I want them to be experts. I want them to be seasoned pros when it comes to how the game of banking is played so that they can get those better rates. Because you look at your operation, and out of all the key relationships inside of your operation, the one with the bank is going to be pretty important for a lot of farmers and ranchers in this country because a lot of them have loans, and that's fine. That's part of the game. And when you learn how the other side plays the game, man, you take away all the power and all the control. You know all their weak points. You know where they're going to kind of expose their hand a little bit, and it gives you some opportunities. And that's all we're doing, guys. But I'm going to tell you, don't expect your banker to willingly call you and say, oh yeah, let's drop your rates by 1% or 2%. They're not going to do that. They're a for-profit business. Once again, they are investing in your operation. They are not going to willingly drop the rates. It's up to you to get your numbers organized and position yourself as a grade A credit so that you can demand those rates. And if your bank you're currently at won't give them to you, great. We got things set up and structured enough for you where we can go to anywhere, any other bank within the county or within 60 miles of you, and they'd be happy to have you because you're a grade A credit, because of how organized your numbers are, because of how well you know exactly where every dollar is going inside of your operation. And this is so powerful, guys. So my friends, if you take anything from this episode today, get your numbers organized. Get your numbers organized. Start training yourself and educating yourself on how the bank makes decisions, how bankers talk, how does the bank run, how is that game played so that you can get better interest rates. Because when we're talking, 2% on $1 million, that's 20 grand a year. That's 20 grand a year or 200 grand over 10 years. Okay, it just depends on how you look at it, but these are substantial savings that we are helping our members get inside of Legacy Farmer and with our program called Farmer Metrics. So my friends, hope you found value inside this episode today. I hope it opens up some things for you, and that's it. We will catch you on the next episode.